Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Renee Stoll. The second half of day 2 began with an in-depth discussion on how seniors might make their housing selection and its effect on their longevity and well-being. National Geographic fellow and author Dan Buettner took a deeper dive into his research on the world's blue zones, a community of elders who live with vigor at record-setting ages. Buettner offered guidance for applying his research and insights to seniors' housing communities that meaningfully contribute to the health and well-being of their residents.
Look at shaping the environment rather than trying to change people's habits. If you change the environment, evidence-based ways, permanent or semi-permanent changes to the environment that nudge people into moving more, connecting more, eating better. If you put goggles on and you look at that environment and you apply those precepts, the intervention is going to last a long time. You don't have to hire a program manager to keep it going. So, I mean, that's the general approach that we take with cities, our Blue Zone Project cities.
If you were looking to hear how current Alzheimer's research and real-world operating models will likely impact future demand for the entire industry, Wednesday's feature session was for you. Distinctively different perspectives were explored on stage, including non-pharma behavioral research findings focusing on environmental, cognitive, and lifestyle decision impacts, and innovative care approaches successfully being used today.
They were doing some forecasts to 2050 and the tripling of the number of people with Alzheimer's within that time is pretty shocking.
Some of the interventions that can be had in the community of Alzheimer's folks who are suffering from the disease and interventions like diet and just physical activity, and it really tied in, really dovetailed nicely from the conversations about blue zones, and so it really kind of linked nicely together.
The 2017 NIC Fall Conference began its final day with a viewing of I'll Be Me, a moving documentary chronicling Glenn Campbell's struggles with Alzheimer's disease before and throughout his sold-out goodbye tour.
To me, it's just meaningful, and I thought it was great that he went on tour and people got to see what life was like for those with Alzheimer's, because it has been sort of hidden. It's in a nursing home, it's at your home. It's not what everybody sees.
It's tragic. I mean, it's the story of somebody with so much talent that was affected by this disastrous disease, and it makes the point that we have to invest more in research and prevention and wellness and focus more on it. It's not just a national crisis, it's a global crisis.
NIC Talks, the popular and provocative showcase inspired by TED Talks, returned for the final time this conference with speakers presenting enlightened and inspired findings to guide the senior services industry well into the future.
I'm going to walk you through a bit of our process that we used to create a new product, a new brand, to a new consumer who has no idea we're making something for them, who are difficult to market to, for which not only does the aisle not exist, but the category doesn't exist.
What's going to enable these buildings, these inner buildings that have been sitting around just like dumb structures for a long time, to become alive?
The insights that I'm collecting, I can feed through algorithms, and I can make observations and conclusions about a person's daily life remotely from my Austin, Texas, my office in Austin, Texas. And this is really interesting because this information, if I'm successful, then care providers and family can also remotely monitor an elder from afar.
So one of the casualties of aging is that it becomes harder to observe what's in front of us, which sounds depressing, but I'm here to tell you that's great news, because the future of aging may actually be hiding in plain sight. We just have to call it out.
What an amazing content-rich conference. Now, don't forget to take what you learned in the education sessions and share that with your office. You can even have NIC Talks watch parties using the conference app. We'll see you in Dallas at the 2018 Spring Forum. For NIC TV, I'm Renee Stoll.